There are good and bad water spirits. The good ones are not interested in compelling or persuading human beings to worship them. They are not interested in harassing us. In contrast, bad water spirits are perennially interested in having dealings with us. In the eyes of bad water spirits, humanity is nothing more than a herd of sheep that should be caged, drained, and eventually slaughtered. Bad water spirits envy us. They are actively present in the lives of countless human beings on earth. They monitor and thwart every move made by them to succeed in life. Whatever makes human beings happy makes them sad. Whatever makes human beings sad makes them hysterically happy. A bad water spirit is happy when people they are interested in experience failures, setbacks, heartbreaks, near success syndrome, etc. They mourn when their hostages succeed in anything they are doing on earth. Most people having spiritual relationship with bad water spirits knows that they have been monitored and prevented from achieving their goals in life. Let me shed light on the origin of the racial animosity between the marine kingdom and humanity. This deep-seated hostility and envy have been in existence since the beginning of creation. The Almighty God rested on the seventh day, and the process of creation came to an end. Human beings were fully formed, and water spirits were partly formed. They were created partly human and partly fish. Water spirits were deeply unhappy about their appearance. The way they were formed have been a source of constant worry and disappointment to them. They would have felt much better looking like human beings. After all, they exhibit many human traits. They eat, talk, and drink. They are sexually active. They have kids, they are leaders, etc. in the marine kingdom. This is how trouble started. Disappointed and angry water spirits said to themselves, wait a minute. We share many characteristics with human beings. Therefore, we can easily interact with them and manipulate their thoughts and cause ejaculation in brother men and sister women. Of a truth I tell you, when human beings ejaculate, bad water spirits instantly hover around the sperm, spilling out of the sexual organs of brother men and sister women and make use of it. They will obtain spiritual essence from the sperm and use it to impregnate themselves. Eventually, they will give birth to babies possessing the characteristics of human beings and water spirits. Much later, the marine babies will grow up and start having sex with sleeping human beings. Sexual intercourse between a water spirit and a human being means water spirits are clothing themselves in human bodies. Such babies will inherit all the physical traits of a human being. We are not alone in this world. Water spirits clothed in human flesh exist side by side with human beings. Bad water spirits have their own secret agenda. They want to gain access into the human kingdom to achieve their goals, and the best way to infiltrate the human kingdom is to clothe themselves in a human body. That's the major reason why water spirits hysterically crave to interbreed with human beings. Most people know nothing about the spiritual powers embedded in sperm. Quite a number of pastors who can no longer wait for genuine anointing of the Holy Spirit pay hotel cleaners to obtain disposed condoms for them. The disposed condoms containing sperm will be used to perform certain diabolical rituals. The spiritual powers raised from these rituals will enable them to perform miracles. I sternly warn you not to leave your used condom behind in the rubbish bin. Of a truth I tell you, any type of destructive or addictive behavior attracts bad water spirits. Water spirits influence the minds of weak people to become sexually promiscuous so that they will continuously supply them with free sperm emanating from ejaculation. Most human beings are following water spirits' subtle subconscious directives. Water spirits are the major source of sexual exploitation, sexual addictions, and perversions, etc. They might have a hand in a lonely and sex-starved housewife having sex with a driver or gate man. Promiscuous husbands and wives, promiscuous youngsters, runs boys and runs girls, politicians who indulge in twosome or threesome in the hotel, etc. all work together to help marine spirits to obtain enormous amount of sperm, which is a potent source of nourishment from the human kingdom. Certain promiscuous Christians cast and bind water spirits in the church. Interestingly, when they come out of the church, they will still be the ones to supply water spirits with enormous amount of sperm, which will certainly help them to achieve their goals. Most African families are equally helping bad water spirits to perpetuate their presence in the human kingdom. The ancestors of most African families worshipped water spirits. Spiritual contacts between human families and the marine kingdom can continue for centuries. This is the main reason why water spirit related problems persist. Now hear this. Madame Caro is a devotee of the marine kingdom and she has 4 children. Along the line, if she decides to give her life to Christ, the angry water spirit will quickly reconnect with her children, etc. If Madame Caro dies, the water spirit might follow her soul from one reincarnation to the next until the spiritual bond she had with it is broken. Even after Madame Caro's death, water spirit related problems will persist in her family from one generation to the next. It is extremely difficult to break the spiritual connection most people have with the marine kingdom.